Page 329. Gavin, grab a water bottle and find your seat, please. Okay, it's Friday. I know you guys are excited for the weekend. We just have a few more hours of school, okay? So please obey and please do well, okay? Oops. All right, page 329. Who can tell me? Actually, today is also our raffle, so make sure you guys are paying attention, participating, earning as much tickets as you can for today. Gavin? Thank you. Okay. What is a map of the world in the shape of a sphere, class? Josiah. Sorry, I said class. Say it again. Globe. Okay. What is half of a sphere called? Hemisphere. Tristan? Hemisphere. Okay. Please raise your hand. Okay. What is the imaginary line that runs halfway between the North Pole and the South Pole? Josiah? The equator. What is the northern half of the earth called? Emmeline?
The northern part is called the eastern hemisphere.
Not the eastern, Ariel. Northern hemisphere. Okay. Next, Cameron, I can hear you. Please go stand outside. Go stand outside. Okay. Everyone read your Geography Facts 5, Latitude and Longitude on page 330, please. Okay, let's read about the latitude and longitude of the world, okay? Go ahead and read at the top with me. Follow along in your books, page 330. Geography, or geographers, who are people who study the surface of the earth, Shane, please, have divided the globe with imaginary lines of latitude and longitude, okay? The parallels of latitude run east and west around the globe. Highlight that. The parallels of latitude run east and west around the globe. So, with these parallels or these latitudes, lines of latitude and longitude, okay, it kind of divides our world or our globe into a few things, okay? So here's our globe. All right, so the lines of latitude, okay, if we guys look on page number 30, look at that special line of latitude, okay, those special lines of latitude. You see the North Pole up here, okay, and then there's a line right here, the Arctic Circle. Then there's a line here. Then we have the equator. What else do we have, guys? We have the Tropic of Capricorn right here. Then we have the Antarctic Circle. And then we have the South Pole. Okay? Look at the Arctic Circle. Okay? The Arctic Circle and the Tropic of Cancer are important lines of latitude in the northern hemisphere. Okay? Know where these are. This is what class? Arctic Circle. Okay, this is the Tropic of what, class? Cancer. What is this middle line running through the earth? The equator. Okay, let's look at our books. What are the lines of latitude in the southern hemisphere? What does it say? The Tropic of Capricorn and also the Antarctic Circle. Okay? Tropic of Capricorn and the Antarctic Circle. So don't get these confused, okay, with the Arctic Circle, because that's where the Arctic Ocean is. Remember? Okay? The Antarctic Circle is where class? By Antarctica. So that'll kind of help you, since Antarctica is on the bottom hemisphere of the world, the southern hemisphere. That's where the Antarctic Circle or the Antarctic line of latitude, okay? The Arctic Circle is at the top. Let's look at lines of longitude, okay? Lines of longitude run what, class? North and south. And come together where? And? Okay, so the lines of latitude or longitude run north and south. They come together at the North Pole and the South Pole. The lines of longitude are also called meridians. The prime meridian runs through the western parts of Europe and Africa. Its starting point goes through Greenwich in England. The meridians are used to measure distance east or west of the prime meridian. Okay, highlight what the lines of longitude are. Okay, those run north and south. Okay. The parallel lines of latitude run where, class? Not longitude, latitude. Those are east and west, okay? East and west are latitude. Longitude is what, class? North and south, okay? Make sure you guys know that. We'll review that a little more, but go ahead and turn back to your map of the Middle East on page number 24, okay? Page number 24 is your map of the Middle East, okay? So we kind of already know what letter A is. Class, what is letter A? Mount Ararat. So what is the southern mountain called? Tony? Who can help him? Oh, Mount Sinai. Nice. That mountain is called Mount Sinai. Make sure you highlight Mount Sinai. Okay, let's say Mount Sinai. Mount Sinai. Okay. Letter C. What area is that? Tristan? Lydia. Okay. Lydia will also be another city that we'll learn about. Okay. What area is letter D? Emmeline?
The Red Sea.
No. Adam? Do you know what letter D is in that area?
Hittites.
The Hittites. Okay, let's say the Hittites together, class. The Hittites. What is letter E? What area is that? Just because I like to hear Tristan say it. Go ahead, Tristan. Mesopotamia. Let's say that together, class. Mesopotamia. Okay. What area is letter F? Okay. Look at that one area. Okay, we kind of learned about this city yesterday. Remember, they were the ones who sold purple? Shane? Phoenicia. Okay, you say that one more time? Phoenicia. Class? Phoenicia. Okay, remember, they were the ones who collected that purple dye or from the purple snails along the Phoenician coast. All right? Letter G. Okay, what area is that? Josiah, you want to look in your map? What area is that? Israel. Okay, make sure you guys know that that's Israel. Okay, what is letter H? Letter H, Liviana? What peninsula is that? The Sinai Peninsula. Make sure you guys know how to say Sinai. S-I-N-A-I. Sinai Peninsula, and that's where Mount Sinai is on. Okay? Letter number 1. What sea is that, class? Landon, sorry. The Mediterranean Sea. Okay. Oh, let me change this for Gianni. Okay. The Mediterranean Sea is number 1. Okay, number 2, what sea is that? Adam?
Mediterranean.
Not the Mediterranean. Tony? Which sea? The Red Sea, okay? Number 1 is the Mediterranean. Number 2 is the Red Sea. Okay, remember that's where Moses split the sea, or God let Moses split the sea. What river is number 3, Ariel? The Tigris River. Number 4, what river is that one, Gavin? The Euphrates River. Make sure you're paying attention, please. Okay. Number 5, what city is that one? Remember, it's that longer name. We said that's where Jonah in the Bible was supposed to preach to. Okay, Shane? Nineveh. Okay, that is the city, the ancient city of Nineveh. Number 6, we all know what that one is. What city is that one? Olive? Babylon. Okay. What is that next city, Cameron? Number 7. It's one of the most important cities in Sumer. Ur. There you go. Ur. Number 7 is Ur. Okay, let's continue on with the map. Number 8. She did it backwards. Number 8. Liviana. What city is number 8? Byblos. Okay. Number 9. Tony. It's number 9. It is Sidon. Okay. Number 10. Ariel. Tyre. And then number 11. One of the important cities that we do need to know. Emmeline? Not that one. Olive? Jerusalem. Make sure you guys know what Jerusalem is. Okay, that's the city that you need to know. Good job. Okay, go ahead and open your books to page. Reading page number. Yesterday we talked about the Phoenicians. Let's talk about the Hittites today. Okay, the Hittites and the Lydians. Right? Yes, Adam? We are on page number 30. Yes, Cameron? Yes. Okay, page number 30. Let's read about the Hittites. Okay? Make sure you're following along. I'm going to call on you guys to read, okay? The Hittites are empire builders. Let's look at fierce conquerors. Asia Minor, which is modern Turkey, is a large peninsula that sticks out of the northern Middle East into the Mediterranean Sea and the Black Seas. Highlight this: a peninsula is a body of land that is surrounded by water on 3 sides. So we kind of saw that that's what the Sinai Peninsula was. That's what the Arabian Peninsula is. It's a body of land that is surrounded by water on 3 sides, okay? The earliest known inhabitants of Asia Minor were who, class? The Hittites. Highlight that. They are the earliest known inhabitants of Asia Minor. okay, who settled there around 2000 BC. They fought and conquered many peoples until they controlled most of Asia Minor. By fighting and conquering, highlight this, they built a great and powerful empire for themselves that was feared for many years. Yet, later, the Hittites became an almost forgotten people. We'll highlight that they built a great and powerful empire for themselves that was feared for many years. Okay, let's look at evidence of Bible truth. Landon, please stand and read about the evidence of Bible truth.
By 500 BC,
The Hittites.
Hittites had practically
Mm-hmm.
vanished from anyone's memory. The Bible mentions the Hittites several times, but because no other evidence of them could be found. People who did not believe the Bible claim that there never was a group of people known as the Hittites. It was over 2,400 years before people rediscovered the Hittites.
Thank you. Shane, pick up where he left off.
In the 1900s,
We're not in that one, as always. On page number 30.
as always, the Bible speaks the truth. In the 1800s, men began finding evidence that led them to believe in the existence of the Hittites. In the 1900s, even greater discoveries were found that gave
Archaeological proof.
proof that the Hittites were real people and that the Bible spoke the truth.
Thank you. So, like we said, these people built a great and powerful empire for themselves, but then they were almost forgotten. And then because that they were forgotten, a lot of people who didn't read about them in the Bible were like, they didn't even exist. But then in the 1900s and the 1800s, people began to find evidence that these people actually really did exist. Okay? Let's read about their empires. Okay? Olive, please stand and read about the empires.
The Hittites are remembered as great empires. An empire is a group of countries or kingdoms that are under the control of a more powerful ruler. The powerful ruler who controls the empire is called an emperor.
Highlight that. Highlight that the powerful ruler who controls the empire is called an emperor. Continue.
The Hittites were among the first to build an empire before 1000 BC. The Hittites were at the height of their power. They had conquered a fantastic amount of land that was made up of more than a dozen kingdoms. Their neighbors, the Lydians, were swords and fast-fighting army chariots of the Hittites. Sometimes surrendered before there was any fighting in order to avoid being destroyed.
Thank you. So the Hittites, they were actually an empire, okay? So we said, well, what did we say was a group of people that thought together as of themselves as one and were often united under one ruler? Josiah? A nation, okay? So an empire is a group of countries or kingdoms that are under the control of a more powerful ruler, okay? So nations, it's like people, it's one, like a bunch of people under one ruler, one country. An empire is a bunch of countries or kingdoms united under one powerful ruler, okay? The powerful ruler who controls the empire is called a what class? An emperor. And this is what the Hittites had. They had an empire under one emperor. Okay, let's go ahead and look down at their wicked practices. A lot of the times we saw in these ancient cities, remember in Sumer, we saw that they worshipped the Sumerian god who class? Who was the moon god? Nana. Okay, so they worshipped her, and they worshipped the moon. Okay, so then we saw in the Phoenicians, they also did sacrifices to the gods that they worshipped, often sacrificing their babies. So the Hittites also sacrificed unto false gods. Let's read about wicked practices, okay? Most ancient kingdoms and countries had their own gods, but the Hittites borrowed most of their gods from the kingdoms that they conquered. As the Hittite Empire grew, so did their number of gods. There were so many wicked practices involved in their religious worship and in their everyday life that God ordered his people, the Israelites, to destroy the Hittites upon entering the land of Canaan, which is the promised land. Okay? So whenever a nation had their own practice, okay, so the Sumerians, they worshiped Nana. The Phoenicians, they sacrificed to false gods. With the Hittites, whenever they conquered a nation, they would take that nation's gods and worship them as their own. So since they conquered many, many nations, that meant they had many, many false gods. Okay, so that's about the Hittites. Let's read about the Lydians, the makers of money. Okay, so we saw that the Phoenicians, they were the seafaring people. The Hittites were empire builders. Let's read about the Lydians, who were the makers of money. Cameron? Yes, please stand and read. Prosperous. Mm-hmm. Caravan. Thank you. Highlight caravans. Caravans were people traveling in groups with their pack animals. Okay, so these people, like we said, the nomads were people wandering. They didn't really have a place to go. Caravans were actually people who wandered with their animals, selling things. Okay, these are what the Lydians were. Okay, so they were trade by barter. Make sure you highlight giving some of its own goods for the goods that it needed is called barter. Okay, highlight that. Trade by giving some of its goods for the goods that it needed is called barter. Okay, so if I were a Lydian and I needed flour or I needed food, different things like that, okay, and I wanted, or if I had flour, if I had food, and I wanted to trade it for purple, like the purple dye from Phoenicia, then I would pack up my caravan, bring all the goods that I had, and then I would trade with people from Phoenicia. I would give them some of my food, some of my grain, some of my flour, and they would give me some of their purple dye or some of their purple stuff that they had. And that was called barter. Okay, they had a system of money, so it soon became clear that trading would be easier and more profitable using a system of money. So people traded money as well. At first, bars or a lump of precious metals such as gold, silver, and bronze were used to pay for goods. Then there was a problem involving the bars. Not everyone involved trading was honest. Someone could make a bar less valuable by cutting a piece from it. Thus, every time someone traded his goods for a bar of precious metal, it had to be carefully weighed. Okay, how many of you guys have ever seen a scale like that? Okay, so whenever they would trade or pay money, the way instead of pulling out, a couple dollar bills or some coins that they had maybe bars of gold or bars of precious metals that they would use instead. So there was a scale, kind of had a stand here, and then there was like a little scale part where they would hang maybe like a little metal thing on the ends. Okay, so they would put bars of money here and bars of money here, okay, of how much maybe something should have costed. So let's say I wanted to buy some purple dye, okay? The cost of that purple dye, let's say, would be 2 bars. Okay, so I, as the seller, would say, okay, that's 2 bars. This is how much it costed. Then whoever was paying for it would give me 2 bars, and when I would put that on the other end of the scale and it matched up, that's how I knew that they were being honest. However, if they gave me 2 bars, but then one was a little bar, and then the scale would actually be lighter than the actual cost, that means I knew that they were going to rip me off and not pay as much as it costed. So that was what they did for their scales. This made buying goods somewhat easier than before. Okay? So this was kind of what they did at the beginning, but then let's look at what they contributed to the world. Okay? The world's first coins. Ariel, can you read about the world's first coins?
The world's first coin. About 700 BC, the Lydians came up with an even better idea than trading coins. Lydia minted or made the world's first coins. Instead of bars of metal, the Lydians made rough, rounded coins of the same metal with the seal stamped on both sides of them.
Please highlight that. Highlight Lydia minted or made the world's first coins. Instead of bars of metal, the Lydians made rough, round coins of the same metals with seals stamped on both sides of them. Okay, remember how we said a seal is what the Sumerians used to stamp their name? Well, now that people in this ancient time already knew what a seal was, the Lydians would stamp their seal on these coins. Please continue.
The seals nearly covered the sides of the coin. A dishonest person would have a harder time putting a piece of metal from a coin than he would from the bond. The coins encouraged honesty on the part of both the buyer and the seller. They were also much easier to handle than bars. Slowly, other countries began to see the advantages of having coins and began making their own. By 500 BC, most ancient countries used coins.
Awesome. Thank you. So the Lydians were the first people to ever use coins. Okay? Let us read about the last king of Lydia. Josiah, please stand and read about the last king of Lydia. What was his name? Okay? Josiah, were you following along? Okay, well, make sure you guys are following along so you know exactly where we are.
As rich as
Croesus.
the last king of Lydia was named Croesus.
Highlight that, guys. The last king of Lydia was named who? Croesus. Okay, I know it's spelled as Croesus, but the way you pronounce that is Croesus. Okay, continue.
He raised the country to the peak of its power just before it was taken over by the
Persian.
Persian Empire.
Croesus.
Croesus was so wealthy that was the saying, as rich as Croesus became common in every land.
Awesome. Highlight that, please. Croesus was so wealthy that the saying, as rich as Croesus, became common in many lands. Okay? That brings us to a close of our history lesson. Let's go ahead and review what we just learned. Okay? Who were the earliest known inhabitants of Asia Minor? Adam? The Lydians. Not exactly. Not the Lydians. Olive? The Hittites, okay? The Hittites were the earliest known inhabitants of Asia Minor. Okay? The Hittites were known for building great what? Which is a country or a group of countries or kingdoms under the control of a more powerful ruler. Tristan? An empire. The Hittites were known for building a great empire. Okay? What is a system of trade called where you're trading one goods for another goods that you might need? Tony? Barter. Okay. Good job. That is called bartering. Yes, Landon? You have a question? Okay. Which group of people minted the first coins? Gavin? The Lydians. The Lydians minted. You have a ticket on the ground. The Lydians minted the first coins. Okay, let's review about our lessons yesterday. Okay, what two natural gifts made the Phoenicians the first great sea traders of the world? Adam? Not the Murex. What did they have? The gift of nature. Okay, so since they were by the sea, what did they have, Tristan? A great port or a great harbor. What else did they have? Josiah? Sorry? Cedar wood. Okay, they had great forests. So the Phoenicians, they had excellent harbors and great forests, or they had good cedar wood. Okay? The Phoenicians were blank. They carried one country's good to another. What is when you carry one country's goods to another country? These people, what are they called, Shane? No. Ariel? No, they're not the Phoenicians. The Phoenicians were the people who carried the country's goods to another. What kind of people do that? Emmeline? Middlemen. They were middlemen, okay? Name an important city in Africa with which the Phoenicians traded, or they created a trading post. What was an important trading post in Africa? Landon, what was an important trading post in Africa? Nope. No. Tristan?
It starts with a C.
It does start with a C. Liviana? Carthage. Make sure you know that. Carthage is an important trading post. Okay, that is on page number 29. Okay, what was the Phoenicians' most valuable contribution to the world? Cameron? Page 29, the Phoenicians' most valuable contributions to the world. That's where we get ours from the first two letters that they had. The alphabet. Good. The alphabet is the Phoenicians' most important contribution to the world. Okay? Let's go back even further. Give me one continent where the Middle East is. What three continents come together in the Middle East? Give me one, Tony. Asia. Give me another one, Olive. Give me another one, Shane. Africa. Asia, Africa, and Europe. Those three continents come together to what we know as the Middle East. What has the Middle East also been called? Okay, it's a little phrase that we heard about yesterday, or on Wednesday, I believe. Okay? Adam, what has the Middle East also been called? Make sure you open your book. You're paying attention. Nope. Olive? Okay. Liviana? Sorry? Not the Fertile Crescent. Okay. Ariel? The crossroads of the ancient world. That is also known as the Middle East. What is a Bedouin? Gavin? Okay, what kind of nomads? Arabs. Bedouins were Arab nomads. These people they wandered from place to place with their camels in all their houses. They built tents. What is the purpose of a millstone? Shane? To grind wheat into flour, to grind grain into flour. That is the purpose of a millstone. What is the most common way of threshing grain? You can find that on page number 26. Cameron, it's not highlighted. You don't have to know this for your quiz, but that's just a review. Okay, the most common way of threshing grain was to what? You see the word threshing? Do you see the word threshing on there? Okay, read the next sentence. What was the most Yes, the most common way to beat or to thresh was to beat the grain with a stick and turn it over and over again. I just picture all these people beating grains with a stick. So, I know. I know. I don't know how long of a process that is, but that's kind of funny. It better be worth it, putting all that effort in. Okay, how did the people cope in the middle of the day with the extreme heat?
Oh, please.
Adam, I'm not going to call on you because you said please. Tony? They rested at noon, okay? Huh? Remember that is still a common practice today. To rest at noon, even today, most people in the eastern countries, most activities stop at noon and then the people rest, okay?
Does that mean school stops at noon?
Well, the people rest at school. What is a paper-like material made from a plant that we learned about? Liviana? Papyrus. Okay, Adam? Papaya. Adam, what was the snail that they used to make purple from? It's the word you keep on saying. Starts with an M.
Murex.
The murex. Good. Okay?
They kill it with the hammer. They beat it?
No, they didn't eat it. They made it into, probably. They beat it and then they turned that into purple. Very good, class. Awesome. Okay? Tonight for homework, you are to do skill sheet number 5. Go ahead and grab those. Okay? Skill sheet number 5. We are in a second.
Can we do 5?
No, not tonight. Okay. Class. Yes, Olive. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead and grab your skill sheets. That is your homework for tonight. Yes, but then let me pass out your reading homework. It's reading skill sheet number 10. Yes, you may.
Can I go too? I need to wash my hands.
Okay.
I can go?
Yeah, just leave your stuff on the desk.
Here, do you want this?
Yes, you may actually. But we'll do that in a second, okay? All right. So continue to work on your skill sheet 5 in your skill sheet books in history, and then reading skill sheet number 10 is reading homework tonight. Okay? If you guys have any questions, please let me know.